Okay, so during this presentation, we kindly ask that you keep your microphones muted, and you are also not allowed to record this seminar on your own. But do not worry because we will upload the video on our YouTube later, and we will send it to you via email, the links. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box at any time you want, and we will address to your question during the Q&A session at the end of our seminar. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy the seminar until the end. Now let's meet our speaker for today. Our speaker is Miss Ayane Maekawa, or we call her Maekawa-san. She is a recruiter and a career advisor of Rise for Career, and today she will be explaining today's seminar in Japanese. And we also have Miss Sakura Takahashi here. She will be translating Japanese to English for us. Okay, then let's start the seminar. Michael-san, the floor is yours. はい、よろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございます。それでは画面共有しますので、少々お待ちください。はい、お待たせしました。それではセミナーを始めていきます。皆さん、こんにちは。今日はウェビナーにご参加いただきありがとうございます。今日は日本でエンジニアとして働きたい方に日本の就職活動についてご説明いたします。セミナーの途中でご質問があればチャットボックスに自由に記入してください。後ほど Q&A セッションでお答えいたします。はい。
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. Today, I would like to explain how job hunting works for those who are interested in working as engineers in Japan. If you have any questions during the seminar, please feel free to put them in the chat box and we will answer them later during the Q&A session.
今日のセミナーはどうすれば日本で就職できるのか方法がわからないと思っている方や、応募しても書類選考で見送りになってしまうと感じる方に向けてのセミナーです。日本の就職活動についての正しい知識や合格につながる秘訣をお伝えするので、ぜひよく聞いて終わったらすぐに活用してください。はい。
Today's webinar is for those who are wondering, how can I get a job in Japan? As well as for those who feel, I keep getting rejected at the document screening stage even after applying. We will provide accurate information about job hunting in Japan, along with practical tips that can help you succeed. So please listen carefully and make use of them immediately after the seminar.
では、セミナーの前に簡単に私たちの授業のご説明として、ライズ4についてさくらさんからご紹介します。お願いします。
So before we begin the explanation, let me briefly introduce Rise4. So Rise for Career is a job site that collects job openings from Japanese companies. There are two key features that make it unique. Number one is it is a job site specifically for non-Japanese or foreigners from Japanese perspective. Secondly, it is specialized exclusively for engineers. So it is a job platform designed for foreign engineers that are seeking work in Japan. There is no cost to use the service. It is completely free. Additionally, Rise4 is operated by a publicly listed Japanese company, so you can rest assured and you can use it with confidence. はい。
ありがとうございます。では、セミナーをする私についても少しだけご紹介します。今日お話しするのは前川彩音、私がお話しさせていただきます。ライズ4のコンサルタントとして、求職者の方のヒアリングの面談や、求人のご提案、履歴書の作成指導などを行っています。よろしくお願いいたします。
So today I will be speaking about job hunting in Japan. My name is Ayane Maikawa. I work as a consultant on the Rise4 team. My main responsibilities include conducting consultation interviews, proposing job opportunities, and providing guidance on resume preparation.
では、今日のアジェンダをご紹介します。まず、日本の就職活動について、それから就職活動で意識すべきこと、その後、メールのマナーについて、 その後は Rise4 のご紹介と実際の求人のご紹介、最後に Q&A セッションがあります。はい。
Hi. Now let me introduce today's agenda. Number one, we'll be talking about job hunting in Japan, and then we will be talking about key points to keep in mind during job hunting, and then we'll be talking about email etiquettes, and then introduction to the Rise 4, and then introduction to job opportunities, and finally, we'll be closing it off with a Q&A session.
では、まず日本の就職活動がどのような流れで進んでいくのかというところと、応募するときに注意することの2つをご紹介します。はい。
Hi. First, I will explain how the selection process generally progresses in Japanese job hunting. And also after that, we will also talk about what to pay attention to when applying.
まず、日本の就職活動の流れはこのような流れです。まず、書類選考があります。書類選考に合格をした方は、面接に進むことができます。面接に合格した方は、内定をもらいます。内定をもらった後は、オファー面談を受けて、労働条件の説明を受けたり、交渉をしたりします。お互いに問題がなければ内定を承諾し、その後、COE やビザの手続きに入ります。はい。
The job hunting process in Japan generally follows this flow. First, there is a document screening. Those who pass the document screening can proceed to the interview stage. Those who pass the interview stage receives a job offer. After receiving the offer, there is an offer meeting where you will be informed about the working conditions and you may negotiate there. If there are no issues, you accept the offer and proceed with the COE and visa procedures.
求人の応募から COE の申請まで全体を通した期間は早い人で3週間ぐらい、一般的には1ヶ月から2ヶ月くらいかかります。COE が許可されてビザを申請し、入国日の調整、航空券の購入、来日まではだいたい1ヶ月くらいかかりますので、書類選考から来日するまでだと4ヶ月から5ヶ月ぐらいかかることが多いです。はい。
So the overall process can take as little as 3 weeks for some people, but it generally takes about 1 to 2 months. The COE process usually takes around 2 months. After the COE is approved, it takes about 1 more month to obtain a visa and travel to Japan. So in total, it often takes about 4 to 5 months to move to Japan from overseas. はい。
ただし COE の申し込み者が多い時期はもっと時間がかかりますので、2月から3月に COE の申請をした時などは来日まで半年以上かかることも多いです。手続きをスムーズに終わらせたい方は、書類選考の前に大学や大学院の卒業証明書と成績証明書を事前に準備しておきましょう。日本の入管では日本語か英語しか受付してくれないので、午後から日本語か英語に翻訳することも忘れずに行ってください。はい。
However, during busy periods with many COE applications, it can take even longer. For example, if you apply between February and March, it may take more than 6 months before you can come to Japan. So if you want to complete the process smoothly, make sure to prepare your graduation certificate and academic transcript in advance. Immigration only accept documents in Japanese or English, so don't forget to translate them from your native language if it's necessary.
また、就職活動のためにお仕事を辞める方もいますが、来日まで時間がかかるので、職歴にブランクができてしまったり、お金に困る状況になってしまうので、就職活動はお仕事を続けながら、同時並行でする方が皆さんの生活が安定していいかなと思います。また、面接の回数はだいたい2回あることが多いです。1回目は採用担当者の面接。日本語でのコミュニケーションの能力や、これまでの経験を確認されることがほとんどです。2回目の面接では、派遣会社であれば、派遣先との面談になることがほとんどです。メーカーなど直雇用の会社であれば、採用担当者ではなく、部長や社長など偉い人が最終判断をするために面談することが多いです。はい。
はい。 Also, since it takes time before moving to Japan, quitting your current job for job hunting may create a gap in your work history or cause financial difficulties. Therefore, it is better to continue working while job hunting to maintain stability in your life. In most cases, there are two interviews. The first interview is usually conducted by an HR representative who assesses your ability to communicate in Japanese and reviews your past experience. As for the second interview, in the case of staffing or dispatch companies, it is usually a meeting with the client company where you will be assigned. For direct employment positions, such as at manufacturers, the final interview is often conducted by senior executives, such as a department head or the company president, who makes the final hiring decision.
では次は応募するときの注意点をご紹介します。書類選考で見送りになってしまうと思うことが多い方は特に注意して聞いていただけたらと思います。まず一つ目は、求人には応募条件というものがあります。応募条件は必須条件と歓迎条件の2種類です。必須条件は満たしていなければ採用されない条件、必ず必要な条件です。歓迎条件は満たしていたら内定の可能性が高くなる条件です。はい。
Next, I will introduce points to keep in mind when applying. If you tend to be rejected at the document screening stage, please pay special attention here. So job postings have application requirements. There are two types of these. One is required conditions, another is preferred conditions. So required conditions are those that must be met. If you don't meet them, you will not be hired. Secondly, the preferred conditions increases your chances of receiving an offer if you meet them.
まずは応募する前に必須条件に自分が当てはまっているか確認をしましょう。そして当てはまっている求人に応募しましょう。当てはまらない求人に応募しても書類選考で見送りになることがほとんどです。また、応募するときも履歴書の自己 PR のところや応募するときに送るメッセージの中に必須条件を満たしていますよというアピールを入れましょう。どこの会社にも同じ履歴書やメッセージを送る人もいますが、会社によって採用基準は違うので、応募する会社の採用基準に合わせたアピールが必要です。はい。
First, check whether you meet the required conditions. Then, apply only to jobs that match your qualifications. Because applying to jobs that don't match will most always result in you getting rejected at the document screening stage. Also, when applying, make sure to highlight in your resume's self-PR section and in your application message that you meet the required condition. Some people send the same resume and message to every company, but since each company has different hiring standard, it's important to emphasize that you meet the required conditions specifically for the company you are applying to.
2つ目は履歴書と職務経歴書を準備しましょう。これは日本語で準備をしましょう。英語で提出する人もいますが、それだと日本語がわかりませんというネガティブな PR になってしまいます。日本で仕事をする上では、日本語はほとんどの会社で必須のスキルなので、日本語が上手だというアピールのためにも、日本語で書類を作成しましょう。はい。
Next, preparing your resume and work history document in Japanese. Some people submit them in English, but that can send a negative message of, I don't understand Japanese. Since Japanese language skills are required at most companies in Japan, preparing your documents in Japanese demonstrates that you are very proficient. Also, many people have discrepancies in the employment periods listed on the resume and work history documents. はい。
それから履歴書と職務経歴書で会社に在籍した年月も揃えるようにしましょう。日本人は書類の細かいところまで見ますので、履歴書と職務経歴書で会社に在籍していた年月が揃っていないと、正確な情報を書かない人だという評価をされます。そうなると、他の内容も正確に書いていないんじゃないかというふうに思われてしまうので、 信頼性を保つためにも、どちらの書類も必ず矛盾がないように書きましょう。はい。
Right. So Japanese employers pay very close attention to these details. So make sure the dates match in both documents. If they don't match, it may be seen as a lack of accuracy, and other information may also be assumed as incorrect or unreliable. So to maintain your credibility, ensure there are no inconsistencies.
次は、求人サイトのプロフィールについてです。皆さんが企業に応募するときに使うかなと思いますが、多くの求人サイトでは皆さんのプロフィールを入力できる画面があると思います。履歴書と職務経歴書に加えて、プロフィール画面でも最低限の情報は入力するようにしましょう。例えば、学歴や居住地、在留資格についてなどです。はい。
Finally, pay attention to the job sites you use to apply. Most job sites have a profile page where you can enter your information. In addition to your resume and work history, make sure to fill in at least the basic information on your profile. For example, education, residence, and visa status. はい。
人気のある会社はたくさんの人が応募します。なので、履歴書を確認する前に、求人サイトのプロフィールの画面で必須条件を満たしているかだけ確認する場合があります。なので、最低限、エンジニアの在留資格が取れますよという証明をするために、大学や大学院の学歴の情報と、居住地、海外に住んでいるか、日本に住んでいるかというところと、日本に住んでいる場合は、在留資格が何かというところは必ず入力するようにしましょう。はい。
Popular companies receive many applications, and sometimes they check whether applicants meet the required conditions using the profile page before even reviewing the resumes. So, therefore, at a minimum, enter your education or the residence and whether you live in Japan or abroad. If you live in Japan, also enter your visa status. This ensures that the company can confirm you meet the basic eligibility to work as an engineer. はい。
応募するときの注意点はこれでご理解いただけたと思うので、次は就職活動全体を通して意識すべきことをご紹介します。特に面接の時、よく注意したい点は、自分が話したいことよりも相手が聞きたいことに答えるということです。はい。
はい。So now that you understand the key points when applying for a job, I will also introduce what you should keep in mind throughout the entire job hunting process. In particular, during interviews, one key point to be careful about is rather than focusing on what you want to say, focus on responding to what the interviewer wants to hear.
相手が聞きたいことに答えるというお話をする前に、面接で多い見送り理由をご紹介します。私が紹介した候補者の方が面接で不合格になった時、面接官にどうして見送りになったのかを聞いています。その回答のほとんどは、質問の内容が理解できておらず、聞いたことと違う答えが返ってきましたという理由です。はい。
So before explaining what I meant in the previous slide, I want to share when a candidate I introduce is rejected in an interview, I ask the interviewer why they were passed over. Most of the answers are they did not understand the question and gave an answer different from what was asked.
これは単純に日本語でのリスニング能力が足りなくて、質問が聞こえていないという意味ではなくて、質問の意図を読み取って答えることができていないという意味です。
This does not simply mean that their Japanese listening ability is insufficient or that they couldn't hear the question. It means that they were unable to understand the intention behind the question and respond accordingly.
意図を読み取って答える例として2つお話をします。1つ目は、例えばカフェでお客さんが店員に Wi-Fi はありますかと聞いたら、店員ははい、あります。ではなくて、はい、店内の Wi-Fi は無料です。パスワードは壁に貼っています。と答えると、意図を読み取って答えられています。二つ目の例は、ホテルのフロントで朝食はついていますかとお客さんに聞かれたら、 はい、ついています。という答えではなくて、はい、朝食は朝7時から9時まで2回で提供しています。予約は不要です。と答えると、意図を読み取って答えられているということになります。はい。
Right. So let me give an example of what it means to answer while understanding the intention. For instance, if a customer asks a cafe staff, "Do you have Wi Fi?" The correct way to respond by understanding the intention is not just "Yes, we do," but "Yes, the in-store Wi-Fi is free. The password is posted on the wall." Similarly, at a hotel front desk, if someone asks if is breakfast included, the correct answer is not just "Yes, it is," but also "Yes, breakfast is served every morning from 7 to 9 on the second floor. No reservation is needed." This is what it means to respond by understanding the intention behind the question.
説明をすると、一つ目の例では Wi-Fi があるかないか知りたいから聞いたわけではなくて、Wi-Fi につなぎたいからあるかどうかを聞いています。ホテルの例も朝食がついているかついていないかだけを聞きたいのではなくて、ついていたらいつどこに行けばいいのか知りたいから質問をしています。こんな風に就職活動中は、この人は何が聞きたくてこの質問をしたんだろうということを考えながら、聞かれたことに答える。プラス、相手が本当に聞きたいことを伝えるという意識をしましょう。これで面接の合格の可能性はすごく高くなると思います。はい。
Right. So, to further elaborate what it means, the person isn't just asking whether Wi Fi exists, they want to connect to it, so they need the details, right? In the hotel example as well, the question is not only about whether breakfast is included, they want to know when and where to go if it is, or make a plan to buy or eat breakfast if it isn't. So, like that, during job hunting, try to always think, what is this person really trying to ask? Answer the question you are asked and provide the information the interviewer actually wants to know. Doing just this can greatly increases your chances of passing the interview.
ここまで就職活動で意識すべきことはお分かりいただけたかなと思いますので、次はメールのマナーについてご説明しますが、皆さんの中には、たかがメールが採用に関係するのかと疑問に思う人もいるかなと思います。ですが、結論から言うと、メールのマナーが悪い人は採用の可能性が低くなります。関係します。採用担当者に、この人、スキルは高いけど、常識がないなぁと思わせてしまうと、合格のハードルは一気に高くなります。はい。
Right. So after this, I will introduce email etiquette. But before that, some of you might be wondering, can a simple email really affect hiring or getting hired? The conclusion is yes, poor email manners can lower your chances of being hired. If the hiring manager thinks this person has high skills and is highly qualified but lacks common sense, then the hurdle for getting hired rises significantly.
これは、返信が遅いであったり、タメ口でメッセージを送るなど、ビジネスの場面でふさわしくない行動をする人に対して、採用担当者は、この人を採用したら他の社員やお客様とトラブルになるかもしれないと感じるからです。採用することで会社に利益があるどころかトラブルが起きてしまうとデメリットしかないので、採用担当者とやり取りをするときは、いい印象を与えるということよりも、悪い印象を与えないためにマナーを守りましょう。はい。
So this happens because actions like replying late or sending messages in casual manner are inappropriate in a business context. The hiring manager may feel if we hire this person, they might cause problems with other employees or customers. Rather than seeing any benefit, hiring someone who causes trouble can completely damage the company or the manager's reputation. Therefore, especially when communicating with hiring managers, focus less on giving a good impression and more on not giving a bad impression.
では、メールのマナーを守る必要性が分かったところで、実際のマナーのご紹介とメールの定型例 最後にクイズを出します。はい。
Now that you understand the importance of following email etiquette, we will introduce the actual etiquettes of emails, then go over standard email templates, and finally, we will have a quiz.
メールのマナー一つ目は、まず、日本語でメッセージを送りましょう。日本の会社では基本的に日本語で仕事をします。なので採用担当者が一番知りたいのは、皆さんの日本語でのコミュニケーション能力です。日本語で丁寧なメッセージを送ることができたら、採用担当者は安心して書類選考を合格にしやすいです。はい。
So the number one point in email etiquettes is sending messages in Japanese. In Japanese companies, work is basically conducted in Japanese. Therefore, what the hiring manager wants to see is your Japanese communication ability. So if you can send polite messages in Japanese or use Keigo, the hiring manager can feel confident and is more likely to pass your document screening. Right?
二つ目は、敬語を使いましょう。日本人は親しくない相手にタメ口を使われると失礼だと感じる人がほとんどです。礼儀正しく振る舞うのではなくて、失礼にならないために敬語を使いましょう。はい。
The second point is using keigo or polite language. Many Japanese people feel it is rude if someone uses casual language or which is called tameguchi with a person they are not familiar with. So use keigo not just to appear polite but to avoid being disrespectful. はい。
三つ目は挨拶をしましょう。メールでの挨拶はお世話になっております。だとか、よろしくお願いいたします。などの言葉です。メールで要件だけを伝えてしまうと、冷たい印象や失礼な印象を与えてしまうので、失礼にならないために挨拶は必ず入れましょう。はい。
はい。So the third point is including greetings. So these phrases like お世話になっております or よろしくお願いいたします using greeting like this in your email is very important. If you just state the purpose of your mail, that it can give a very cold or rude impression. So to avoid being seen as rude, always include greetings when you're sending emails. はい。
四つ目は絵文字は使いません。ビジネスメールでは絵文字を使わないのが一般的です。絵文字が届くと友達かなと思ってしまうので、絵文字は使わないようにしてください。はい。
はい。So the fourth point is not using emojis. So in business emails, it is standard not to use emojis. Receiving emojis may make the recipient feel like, why is the other person being so friendly? We are not friends. So avoid using emojis completely. はい。
最後五つ目は一日以内に返信をしましょう。返信が遅いとお仕事をしても連絡ミスやトラブルを起こしそうだと思われてしまいます。信頼を失うことにつながるので、できるだけ一日以内に返信をしましょう。はい。
はい。And last but not the least, the fifth point is replying within one business day. If your reply is slow, the recipient might think there might be communication errors or problems when this person starts working. So this can lead to a loss of trust. So try to reply within one day. はい。
では次、メールの典型例をご紹介します。メールの始まりには決まった型がありますので、覚えるだけでそのまま使えば問題ないです。メールの始まりはこんな風に送ってください。相手の会社名、それから相手の名前、お世話になっておりますという挨拶と自分の名前、最後に要件の順番です。メールを書くときの始まりはいつもこの形を使えば問題ありません。はい。
はい。Next, we will introduce standard email templates. There is a fixed format for the beginning of emails. So once you memorize this format, you'll be fine. So the format is as follows. First, write the recipient company name, followed by the recipient's name, followed by the phrase お世話になっております this greeting, and then state your name. After that, write the purpose or the message of your email.
要件は後でご紹介するので、メールの終わりの形も決まっています。
We will
メールで
introduce.
何か、すいません。
すいません。はい。
メールで何か見てくださいと言いたいときは、お忙しいところ恐れ入りますが、ご確認いただけますと幸いです。よろしくお願いいたします。最後に自分の名前。 それから、検討してくださいと言いたいときは、ぜひご検討いただけますと幸いです。よろしくお願いいたします。自分の名前の順番です。はい。
So before telling you how to write the purpose of the email, we'll show you how to end your emails. So just like we showed you how to start the email, there are also standard expressions for ending emails. For example, when you want to say, please check, right? お忙しいところ恐れ入りますかご確認いただけますと幸いです which means I apologize for the interruption during your busy schedule, but I would be grateful if you could check this. Similarly, よろしくお願いいたします means something like thank you in advance. And then after that, you leave one line and then you write your email. And then you write your name, sorry. When you want to say, please consider, instead of writing that directly, write ぜひご検討いただけますと幸いです which means I would greatly appreciate it if you could kindly consider this. And then similarly, add in よろしくお願いいたします after that, leave one line and then write your name.
ちなみに、でくださいだと、メールだとちょっと強い表現に聞こえます。直接話すときに確認してください、ご確認くださいだと全然問題ないですが、メールで確認してください、ご確認くださいが届くと、ちょっと怒っているのかなというふうに感じてしまう人もいるので、メールではご確認いただけますと幸いですが、ご確認のほどよろしくお願いいたします。だと、ソフトな言い方でいいと思います。はい。
So another point is てください in emails can sometimes sound a bit too direct or harsh. So in a face-to-face conversation, saying 確認してください or ご確認してください is completely fine. But during an email, when you're writing an email, 確認してください might come across as the person being like angry or a bit demanding. So ご確認いただけますと幸いです or ご確認のほどよろしくお願いいたします。Using phrases like this when you're typing an email are considered more polite and gentle. はい。
では、メールの始まりと終わりの方が分かったところで、要件の書き方を見てみましょう。まず一つ目、求人に応募するときはこのような書き方で書いてください。記者のバックエンドエンジニアポジションに応募したくご連絡いたしました。それから、履歴書を送るときはこんな書き方です。履歴書、職務経歴書を添付にてお送りいたします。ぜひ面接の機会をいただけると幸いです。最後三つ目が、面接の日程の希望を送るときは、面接の機会をいただきありがとうございます。希望の日程をお送りさせていただきます。下記ご都合いかがでしょうか？こんな感じで書いてください。はい。
So now that we understand the basic format for starting and ending an email, let's take a look at how to write the main message or the body or the purpose of your mail. So when applying for a job, you can write it like this, the number 1 point, which means I am contacting you to apply for the backend engineer position at your company. Secondly, when sending your resume, you can write it like this. You can use this phrase, which means I have attached my resume and work history document. I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to have an interview. And thirdly, when sending your preferred interview schedule, you can write it like this as shown in the screen. This means thank you very much for giving me the opportunity for an interview. I would like to share my preferred schedule. Please let me know if the following dates are convenient for you. はい。
要件はこの例をこのままコピーして使っても問題ありません。ただし、青色にしているバックエンドエンジニアポジションのところは自分が応募するポジションに変えてから使ってください。はい。
For the main message, it is perfectly fine to copy and use these examples as they are. However, please make sure to change the parts highlighted in blue to match the position you are applying for before using them.
では、典型例が分かったところでクイズを出します。今から出すメールの例が OK か NG か分かったらポップアップに入力してください。まず一つ目の例です。読みます。株式会社 ABC 採用担当者様、初めてご連絡いたします。ライリー・ラ・フィルダウシーと申します。記者の施工管理職 応募したくご連絡いたしました。履歴書、職務経歴書を添付いたします。ぜひ、面接の機会をいただけると幸いです。よろしくお願いいたします。ライリー。これは、OK でしょうか？ NG でしょうか？ポップアップに書いてください。
So now that you understand the typical examples, we will present you with two quiz questions. Please answer the poll that will be provided here in the chat box on whether each email example or the template shown here is okay or NG. NG means not good. So the email is written as follows. ABC Corporation, hiring manager, nice to meet you. My name is Riley Laraf Firdousi. I'm contacting you to apply for the construction management position at your company. Please find my resume and work history attached. I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to have an interview. Thank you for your consideration, Riley.
はい。皆さんの回答は OK が多いですね。はい。皆さんのご回答通り、この一つ目のメールは OK です。相手の会社名や相手の名前、挨拶と自己紹介、それから要件、最後に丁寧に挨拶もして自分の名前も書けているので、バッチリ問題なく OK です。はい。では、二つ目の問題に行きます。このメールは OK でしょうか？ NG でしょうか？わかったらポップアップに書いてください。読みます。株式会社 ABC 採用担当者様、お世話になっております。ライリーでございます。面接の日程をお送りします。6月14日金曜日13時から15時。ご検討ください。ライリー。さあ、これは OK でしょうか？ NG でしょうか？
Right. So as for the previous quiz, as the majority of you have replied, the answer is okay because the email includes the company name and the recipient's name, the greeting and the self-introduction, the main purpose, and a closing greeting followed by the sender's name. So everything is perfectly accurate. So the answer was okay for the previous quiz. Now for this next quiz, please answer if this is okay or not good. So I will read the contents of the email. ABC Corporation, hiring manager. Thank you for your continued support. My name is Riley. I would like to share my interview availability. June 14th, the time is given. Please consider Riley. So please answer in the chat box in the poll given here if this is okay or not good.
今回は3割ぐらいと、3割と7割に割れましたね。はい。このクイズの正解は NG です。会社名、相手の名前、お世話になっております。自分の名前は遅れているので、そこは良かったですが、もうちょっと改善できるポイントとしては、この3つがあります。まず、日程は3つ以上送りましょう。1日だと採用担当者はたくさんの人と日程を調整しているので、調整が難しいことが多いです。できるだけ3つ以上送りましょう。それから一番最後のご検討くださいのところは、ご検討のほどよろしくお願いいたします。にすると、もっと丁寧です。それから、三つ目はもう一つだけ挨拶も追加できるといいです。はい。例えば、はい。いい例としては、こんな感じで送るともっといいと思います。はい。
So as many of you have correctly assumed, this is not good. This is not a good example of an email because as the reasons, only one schedule option was provided. Since a recruiter has many recruitants, it's difficult to adjust if there's only one dates given. So you should at least send 3 available time or option. Another one point is, please consider or gokento kudasai sounds too direct, right? So you should also include in greeting beforehand to make it less impolite or less direct. And lastly, the last line, thank you for giving me the opportunity for an interview. This line was missing. So it would have been better if this line was also included in the end. はい。
では、ここまで日本の就職活動について、それから就職活動で意識すべきこと、それからメールのマナーについてをご紹介してきました。この後は日本企業の求人がたくさん掲載されている私たちのサイト RISE4 のご紹介と実際の求人もご紹介します。その後 Q&A セッションもあるので皆さん最後まで聞いていってください。 また、アンケートの回答もお願いします。アンケートに回答してくださった方には、メールのテンプレートをワードファイルで共有します。はい。それでは、ありがとうございました。はい。
Hey. So far, we have covered important points about job hunting in Japan, key things you should be aware of, and email etiquette. Next, we will introduce the Rise for website, where many job openings at Japanese companies are listed, as well as some actual job postings. After that, we will also have a Q&A session, so please stay until the end. We would also appreciate it if you could complete the survey, which is given in the chat box. For those who respond, we will share an email template in a Word file. So please do not forget to complete the survey. So once again, thank you very much.
はい、ありがとうございました。ではまた私の方に画面共有いたします。Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Ayane Maekawa-san, for the wonderful presentation, and thank you so much, Sakura-san, for interpreting the whole presentation. Now, before we go to the Q&A session, let us show you a little about how to use our platform, Price for Career, on job searching in Japan. Okay. So Rise4 is a free job searching and hiring platform intended for engineers, for foreign engineers who wanted to work in Japan. There are two sections in Rise4. The first one is Rise4 Business, that is used for the companies or for the employers who provide jobs to the engineers. And the next one is Rise4 Career. So Rise for Career is designed for foreign engineers who wanted to work in Japan. This platform is not only meant for those who are currently residing in Japan, but also for foreign residents engineers who wanted to work in Japan. So currently we have around 40,000 registrants from 100 of nationalities and more than 200 client companies with around 600 jobs that are available at the moment. And we recommend our service for those who have Japanese language skills or are currently studying Japanese. We primarily support individuals who majored in IT, mechanical, electrical, and civil engineering, whether they are living in Japan or also abroad. Let's move on to our services. The first one, we offer a job searching feature. So you can search and apply for jobs directly here or even scouted by the companies who view your profile. And the process is as written here. So the first one, you will need to register on our platform or log in if you already have an account before. Then the second one, you can apply for the job you are interested in and then wait for at least 1 week for the company to review your CV, your resume, and application. So if you pass the document screening, then you will be invited to an interview. You will receive the interview results within 2 weeks to 2 months. So the fastest one, it can take as little as 3 weeks from application to receiving the job offer. So the second services we offer is events. We regularly host and also participate in various seminars, job fairs, and other events as well, just like this one, both online and offline. So these events will mainly focus on topics such as how to build a career in Japan and other job hunting related advice as well. If you would like to join, you can just simply search for upcoming events on our website or our social media and register. So the last one is a blog content. We regularly post articles on our website and social media about life in Japan and also job hunting in Japan. Move on to the advantages of using our website. There are 5 things that we can share to you. The first one is our website specialized for foreign engineers. So here we focus exclusively on helping foreign engineers to find a job in Japan. So many of our client companies have a strong track record of hiring international talent. We carefully screen every company before featuring their listing on our website so you can apply with confidence here. The second one is multilingual support. So our team is multilingual and culturally diverse as well. We offer support in Japanese, in English, and several other languages. Our staff come from countries such as Myanmar, Vietnam, Korea, China, Indonesia, and Bangladesh. And the third one is the process is fast. The hiring process is efficient, if I might say, from interview to job offer. That is because you apply directly to the company, so the communication is quick and streamlined. The fourth one is a free aptitude test, or we call it CQI. So you will have the chance to take a free CQI aptitude test to better understand about your strength and also your skills. And the last one is Japanese style resume tool. We offer an easy to use tool to help you create a Japanese style CV, or we call it Ridaikisho, to making your application more professional and also appealing to the employers. So let's find a job using Rise for Career. The job will be divided into three fields as displayed here: IT, mechatronics, mechanical, electrical, and also construction. However, there are also jobs that are not related to these three, and they will be displayed in the field of others. This will be the display when you go to our site. This is the Japanese one. However, on the top right here, you will see this language button. You can change it to English if you want to see the homepage in English. And here's the selection flow for those who want to use our website. Some of them are also already explained by my Kawasan before. The first one, you will need to log in first, or if you do not have an account yet, you will need to register first, and then you will need to fill in some information to build your profile. After that, you can find a job match with your skills or your preferences. Also, pay attention to these notes because if it's in Japanese page stated that vacancy is Nihon Zaijusha no Myoboka, or in English version it is called only applicants living in Japan are eligible to apply, then it can only be applied by the candidates who already reside in Japan. However, if it's stated Doko kara demo oboka, or apply from anywhere, then the applications are accepted from anywhere you reside in. Here are some of the job vacancies we can share to you. First, we will introducing some vacancies from Brexa Technology. This company is an outsourcing company that hires highly skilled foreign engineers. They are very experienced in hiring foreigners, so they are handling foreign recruitment very smoothly. They also will cover your flight expenses and have many benefits for the employee. So the roles will generally be matched to your previous experience, but here we will be sharing these two positions. So on the job search of our website, you can see this much of information such as the title, the role, and then the required level of Japanese, the range of monthly income in Japanese yen, and also who can apply. In this case, these vacancies can be applied from anywhere you're in. And if you click on the job you're interested in, then you can see more information like the job description and required condition and more. So let us see the job description and requirement one by one. The first one is for mechanical engineering vacancies. This would be the job description. So as a mechanical engineering, you will be handling some responsibilities in this kind of projects. So this would be the example of projects. Let me read them a little bit. Uh, so the project example would be structural and housing design, analysis, evaluation, and testing, or design and development, and also development, testing, verification, and analysis of the next generation eco-friendly vehicles, and then automotive electrical parts development, and any other projects. And the required requirement, if you wanted to apply for this position, is you will need to have at least 2 years of experience in mechanical design related to the projects described here. So if you do have this 2 years experience, and also if you match with the Japanese language displayed here, and you are okay with this kind of monthly income, then you are welcome to apply. And the next one is PLC control design. So, in these vacancies, you will be responsible for PLC control design and prototype development for manufacturing and also processing machines, specifically on these two. That is software design, design and production of CPU and external interface circuits. The required condition is PLC control design experience, regardless of the manufacturers. These manufacturers on anything like that. So if you meet the conditions and if you are interested in this position, you can apply to these jobs. I will send you the link of these jobs later in the chat box after I explained everything. So the next one, this one I already explained to you the mechanical vacancies. So here we will share to you the vacancies for IT engineer. The next one, this one is an IT outsourcing company, partner company limited. So this company is actually one of our group company. They will also cover your flight expenses to Japan if you are currently living in abroad, and they will also cover half of house renting fee in Japan. So let's take a look at the vacancies. The first one is Java engineer in Osaka. You can apply it even if you have entry level of Japanese. The monthly income range is like this. And the description would be web system development work. You will be participate in this following system development project. There are a lot of projects that you can join in, and there are also several other projects addition to this one. And the projects may vary depending on when you join in. And the required condition, the first one is you will be required to have over 3 years of experience in developing a web application using Java because the vacancy stated a Java engineer. And then you will need to be able to work alone from detail design to testing. This means that you have an experience or you have the confidence on not working alone, but like you can do anything the IT responsibilities from detail design to the testing itself. And then the next one is that you are able to carry out work in Japanese. The minimum Japanese language proficiency is entry level. And the next one is SAP engineer in Kansai. Kansai is also included in Osaka as well. So the job description, let me read them for you. We cover all business area, including sales, production, inventory, and accounting, and have business partners in a variety of industries, including manufacturers and service providers. There are also job switching between S4 and HANA, and there are many opportunities to advance positions such as business consultant and project manager. So the responsibility you will have is this one. So SAP implementation, development phase, requirements, analysis and definition, and up until the creation of documents such as specification and manuals as well. This would be the example of the development environment. And the required condition is over here. There are the required condition and also private qualifications as well. The required one is experience working with this SAP and then experience in ABAP development and also able to carry out work in Japanese. And the private qualification is those with consulting experience. So it will be a plus for you if you have this consulting experience. Okay, let us move to the next vacancies. This one is a construction outsourcing company called Alexia. And let me introduce them to you. The first one is construction management. This is actually a new arrival vacancies. You can also apply this in from entry level, 100% foreign employees. There's a bonus twice a year, and like tickets company will cover it, and visa support available. The three companies that I introducing to you have this visa support for every vacancies they have, so you can apply with confidence. The job description is for the first one, work at a US military base in Tokyo to manage the construction. The job description is regarding the Management construction is checking drawings, correcting drawings, estimation assistant, process chart creation, progress management, quality control. And the required condition would be you will need to have 2 years or more experience in construction management, and also JLP entry or NATES Sankyu 3rd grade or even higher. And you will need to have graduated from the Department of Architecture at a university. The next one is construction management. This one is in Kansai, in Nara Prefecture, to be specific. The job description would be construction management for factories and commercial facilities, uh, more or less the same as before. And then the required condition is to have 2 years of construction management experience. And the private conditions is that if you have construction management experience in Japan, these two vacancies can be applied for from anywhere. Even if you're not currently residing in Japan, you can apply to this company and to these vacancies. Okay. Before we move on to another slide, let me just put the links in the chat box. Please hold on for a moment. So, for a moment. I will put the link. Just one more moment. Okay, I'm putting the link in the chat box. Let me know if it's not working. Um, okay, let us move to the next slide, since I think we have so many questions on the chat box. So after you check the job details and requirements, if you are interested in the job vacancies that are displayed in our website, then you can click this apply button to apply. So if you are opening the Japanese version, this would be displayed as Obo. So you can click on this Obo button to apply to the vacancies. And then the document selection will begin. So usually the company will ask you via message after you apply to submit these two documents, the Rekisho or Japanese resume, Japanese style CV, and also Shokumuke Rekisho or Japanese work history. So for those who in need of these document templates, you can scan on this QR code. You can also take a screenshot here, and I will send you also the link in the chat box later. So next, there will be an interview only if you pass the document screening. So the available vacancies on our site right now, unfortunately, is limited for those who have the Japanese ability on entry level or above. So the interview will be conducted in 100% Japanese. There will be no interpreter provided. So if you cannot speak Japanese on a certain required level, you will be most likely to not pass the document selection first. And then there might be 2 or 3 times interview session that you will need to pass. And only if you passed every selection stages, then you will receive a job offer or night day from the company. So after reading the offer, you may either accept or decline. It is totally up to you. Here's the manual. If you ever need one, then I will send it also in the chat box. Please hold on a moment. I will send also the links to the what is it? To the Japanese document format Please hold on a second. And for those who have not completed the survey, we would like to remind you again to complete the survey. Just hold on a second. Why it's not? Let's work your links. This is the links for the manual for the everything, and I will send you again the links of survey for this who haven't submit the survey. And this would be a QR code to our social media. I already sent it to your chat box as well. We post job vacancies daily, not daily, but like 3 times a week on our socials as well. So please stay tuned. Okay, so now finally, we'd like to open the floor for our Q&A session. If you have any question about anything we covered today, feel free to drop them in the chat box, or you can also raise your hand if you want to ask directly. You can either ask in Japanese, in English, also in Bangla or Bahasa Indonesia as well. Okay, so I will start